Hooray, you did it, Fringy.
And then he leaves.
And he's gone. He's gone.
Fringy, please.
White skin absorbs vitamin D. So too does it absorb all of the racism from around us.
Yes. You see, we thought it was a little too pale in here, so we needed to get a token brown for us to make sure that people couldn't accuse us of being racist.
And hey, Fringy, have you seen Black Panther? I think you have, right?
Oh, you know what? Maybe. No.
Maybe.
Well, it was forgettable, so.
Yes, it was. Uh-oh. What is this? Everything wrong with Black Panther and Unbridled Rage. Oh,
someone in the chat put down, is Fringy a, and then it's a black smiley face.
I didn't know they had those.
I didn't know that existed either.
I didn't know either. It's funny.
It's just funny. So yeah, in me and Wolf's videos, we were very critical of the Black Panther film, which was, but obviously that was the worst idea ever because it makes us the most horrible people on the planet. But I've never really taken aggregate review sites seriously. It is interesting to be like, oh, by the way, this film got 100%. You'd be like, oh wow, really? Why? And then you find out why, and you're like, oh. And then you never go back to the fucking aggregate sites. But yes,
it is probably worth pointing out though that like Rotten Tomatoes is not a good. It's not about the actual score that it was assigned, but how many were positive and negative. So
yeah, if anyone uses Rotten Tomatoes to cite if a movie was good or not, their opinion doesn't matter.
Well,
I mean, I'm sorry that you're so stupid.
If that's all they've got, like, yeah, their opinion doesn't matter. That's
it. I mean, seriously, if you're citing this site that has the absolute most flawed reasoning for if a movie is good or not, then I'm sorry, you're dumb.
So the tomato meter for The Predator is at 34%.
Yeah, I think that's about where it should be. Good stuff. Congratulations, aggregate site. But all right,
it's higher than The Nun.
Let's let him get to an actual point instead of
the Shawshank Redemption didn't do too
intro.
well in the box office.
A lot of people are assuming because I'm British that I have this idea that we should colonize everything, which I don't actually give a shit.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Makes sense to me.
Well, maybe not American because maybe they'll say Americans colonized everything too. I'll be like, what do you want me to do?
Well, you can do a German accent and really channel that Nazi in you.
Because he's German, he thinks that's normal.
Why did the Wakandas only stop at 4 countries? They lack ambition.
So anyway,
educated, well beyond the standards of anywhere else in the world. Why do you?
So was the British Empire. What's your point?
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
But the British Empire was racist.
They didn't have super secret MacGuffin tech.
When After Earth was more respectable to black culture.
Also, honestly, this has actually made me think about something. They have a mountain of vibranium.
Someone pointed out, remember when Adolf united Europe?
As Jen has just had the quote for, peace is having a larger stick than the next guy. I would have to watch the intro again to make sure, but the fact is...
And then the good Lord said, eat watermelon.
They did fight, is the main point.
Either the Wakandans would have employed whatever method they would deem appropriate to stop people from spreading the...
You're suggesting they would murder people who found
No, they're pacifists, but we've established that they're pacifists. Once they're discovered, they're fucked.
Dude, imagine it's a horror film. There's people trekking through Wakanda, they bump into the shield, and then they're just like the Black Panther jumps in and shreds them apart.
So it's basically like that
Black Panther.
It's like that island. I don't remember where it's off the coast from. It's that island that still has like that tribe living on it, where everyone that goes on the island gets brutally murdered.
Yeah. It's just funny that he's like, because obviously they would have just murdered these people.
Yeah. It's just weird because he already establishes that they're xenophobic pacifists.
So we just have to comment, okay guys, that's the last person we murdered to conceal existence. Now we are pacifists.
All right, we're going back to being pacifists.
And see, like, I feel bad for the guy because he's having to invent reasons for this stuff to work, and now he doesn't even realize that his own fan fiction's starting to contradict itself.
What if it was like a boar or a zebra or something that just walked into the shield and died? Would you not just a trail of dead corpses along this perimeter of like animals that just died eating this thing.
A whole mountain of dead animals surrounding Wakanda.
I mean, it's like just a circle
They
of dead animals.
they asked the Wakandan king about it, and he's just like, that's normal. That's a part
Just
of
a
our
ring
culture.
of skeletons surrounding
they can have like the corpses puppeted up on sticks to warn people not to come in. Accidentally walks through the shield. He sees the
basically trying to say.
This is what it comes down to. I don't believe they've put enough effort in to explain how this place could possibly have remained a secret. You'd be like,
how many people went looking for
was gonna
El
say,
Dorado?
that's pretty
or
Yeah, El
Flammable.
Dorado, Atlantis,
Or the Fountain of Youth.
Shangri-La.
I mean,
Shangri-La.
you realize that a guy tried to launch himself into space recently to prove that the Earth was flat, right? And you're telling me that no one would ever think, maybe I can go looking for this
yeah,
Wakanda
I might take a
place.
walk in Wakanda. Oh, that's ridiculous. You never do that. I mean, hell, if that legend spread enough, I could imagine Iron Man being like, yeah, I might look into that just out of curiosity.
Pleasantly states at the beginning that Wakanda is surrounded by mountain ranges and impenetrable forests. And to top it off, if you actually
No such
Impenetrable
thing.
forest? There's no such thing.
Yeah, those don't
You
exist.
just cut it down.
People live in the Amazon jungle.
What? Impenetrable forest? That's like me going like an indestructible wafer.
Yeah. It's like, Africa's not like really a jungle,
Are they sci-fi trees?
They're vibranium trees.
They're vibranium
Even-
trees.
See,
I got them.
even if they were vibranium trees, you can walk through trees. It's not hard.
Even the Fanghorn Forest wasn't indestructible.
by the way,
until they
That's true.
fucked up Isengard.
That's already counting himself again, because that's implying that Wakandans were trapped inside the trees, maybe. And at that point, they're not isolationists; they were just unlucky.
Well,
Yeah.
if you look at it from the perspective of Thor, technically everything is a giant spirit tree. So we're all technically trapped in a tree.
I just picture there's a tree, and he just sees it. And he's like impenetrable, and we walk around it. He goes. They grow horizontally in
You just throw
Wakanda.
a rock through it, and the rock bounces back at you off of the air. It's just like, whoops.
Do they give like a geographic position for Wakanda?
Yeah, it's Central
Yeah,
Africa.
and they
it's
show-
kind of near where
They
Congo.
show it's surrounded by loads of grass fields, loads of fields that they're not even in. Like all of the faked guys outside.
When they flew over. Yeah, they
there's,
flew
there's
over.
loads of space. It's not like it's a bunch of trees, and even if it were, why would that stop people? I don't understand.
actually
Someone
managed to
said
get
it's
through
as
all
impenetrable as the defense of this movie.
Yeah, and like everybody walked back then. It's not like they're trying to drive tanks and shit through it. Like, it's impenetrable forest. You walk through it. It's just
How much would people?
Someone said they'll pacify you to death.
You turn up, and all the farmer people are like, "Hey man," you're like, "Hey," and you carry on walking. They go, "Where are you going?" You go, "Oh, just over there," and then they go, "Don't do that." Why? Just don't do that. And you're like, I'm
You
just
do
gonna
not
go
know
over there."
the way. Someone else said it. My wait boy, forget the way or you will forget your life. A bunch of trolls on 4chan looked at weather patterns to find Shia LaBeouf's flag. And you're telling me, and you're trying to tell me that people would not go looking for this. I mean, people found like some dude dragging a dead guy over a dock somewhere on Google Maps, and you're trying to tell me that no one would even attempt to find Wakanda in this.
We
you're
were
just an
shown
idiot.
they literally travel into the dome with spaceships. It's so reckless. They're not even cloaked. Do you remember? I make a point of this. I don't know if he's going to bring it up, but they're in Wakanda with their ship fully visible. Then they go bloop into the dome, and it's like, yeah, Google would actually get a photo of that. Funnily enough, that would actually happen.
The flat earthers believe that every airplane has windows that make the earth appear round.
Before they travel through the secret entrance to Wakanda, the ship that Black Panther and his crew are in flies right past regular Wakandans, and some fuck is waving to them. Now,
it's funny to hear that again.
to clarify for this man, in case he doesn't understand my point, I understand that the outside Wakandans are in on it. Do they have internet at Wakanda? Yes or no?
I guess not.
I guess
They
no,
couldn't
because
have
if
it.
there was, you're done just with that fact alone.
Oh, they use VPNs.
You can't. It's like with the internet, they're fucked because there's just it takes one Wakandan to go. I'm actually in a secret city right now. We're playing Overwatch or something. It's like...
You look at a heat map of like where all of your internet traffic's from, and there's just this random spot in the middle of Africa where there's a bunch of people who have high-speed internet. You're like, that's great. Yeah, it's
I love
great.
that
sequence.
sequence.
Someone just said stealth pacifism.
Hey, he peacefully killed those guards.
Peacefully murdered.
He threw one of them into the truck and broke all of his organs and bones.
Made the strongest pacifist win.
Yeah, to me, this is like going, okay, we want Trump is our candidate, and the way to win the political race is a game of chess. It's like, I don't think we should put Trump up for that. Can we put someone else up for that? Like, I don't know, like, and then you go, okay, so this one is the javelin throw to get the presidency. It's like, all right, we're gonna need the person. Well, if he's autistic, he's actually more evolved. If we
What
go
if
by,
the king's impotent and can't have children?
But if we go from just the film, we get no information on this. Wait, what? Sorry?
Mundane Matt finally posted an apology.
Oh my god.
Maybe
Can
it's
we
probably
just-
because he went to MIFCon and like met people and talked with people in person.
Like
It's
everyone
like-
told him he should be
Yeah, and they're like,
apologizing.
dude, yeah, because if I met him in person, I'd be like,
Do you want to,
fuck
once
you.
we're done with this video, do you want to check out that one instead of Down with Thrust?
Well, it's only 2.5 minutes.
Oh,
so we
yeah,
can
we'll-
probably
yeah,
we'll
just-
definitely do
it's
that.
only 2.5 minutes.
We'll definitely do that. Yeah, come on then, let's
There's
hear
no
it.
reason not to farm
They're really
rhinos.
good
They're not
talk.
a traditionally domesticated animal, sure, but they produce milk.
Rhino
probably-
milk.
Rhino milk? Are you kidding me? You're gonna
Rhino.
farm
Don't
rhinos
use
to their
cat-
milk.
Don't use cows. Don't use goats. Don't use use rhinos. Of course, it only makes sense that if you want milk, you would use a rhino for
Do you know
it.
what's funny? There's supposed to be the disguised part where we look at them from the outside and go, oh, they're just rhino farmers. How fucking confusing is that? You'd be like, you guys farm rhinos? Like, does that not raise an eyebrow?
Oh,
For
like-
rhino milk.
They're
Yeah,
not
it
a
makes sense
traditionally
because
domesticated
rhino
animal,
milk.
sure, but they produce milk. They probably produce quite a lot of meat. Plus, they produce.
Whoa.
You don't rhino meat? No.
Rhino
People should really eat rhino.
I'm just gonna put this out there. It seems like you're far more likely to die farming rhinos than any other animal.
here, guys, listen. Yeah, let me explain to you why we have a tiger farm. Because we want milk and food.
It's a hippopotamus farm. We milk the hippos. Just
Yeah,
don't get too close to their mouths.
We have a T-Rex farm for its milk.
I just want to read you guys this. I looked up, do people eat rhinos in response to his meat? And the very first thing it comes up with is eating rhino is not at all common. Rhino meat is still quite valuable as exotic meat. We'd like to keep some around, so please don't eat rhino meat.
Christ's
What-
sake. This is the thing,
the,
right? A reasonable,
rhino
normal
milk.
human being just goes, yeah, it's kind of silly that they're trying to farm rhinos. But no, you have to defend it. As someone just pointed out in chat as well, have you noticed that this is held together with sticks and straw, the rhino pen?
What animals produce milk that humans can drink? And it comes up with buffalo, goat, sheep, camel, donkey, horse, reindeer, yak, and cattle.
No
Like,
rhino.
I
Yeah,
Google
so
search-
that's definitely not rhino milk.
Yeah,
Nowhere
but
does it say
listen,
rhino.
Just doing a Google search is too much research for a
It's
critique
ivory.
of a
The
critique.
Now
material we
all I'm
current-
thinking about is, what if somebody sits underneath a rhino to try and milk it? Like, what if it takes a step back and crushes your head? Nobody would ever do
What-
this.
What if it
milking a
decides-
rhino? That just seems so like.
What if it decides
dangerous.
it doesn't want to be milked anymore and impales you on its horn?
Yeah,
Dude.
rhinos will fuck you up.
One of my mods just said, that's not milk you're getting from the rhino.
Look, listen, it's tradition, okay?
It's ridiculous.
Everyone knows that in Wakanda, every Friday, you drink the rhino's cum. It just makes sense, all right?
tradition.
It's
This is-
tradition.
This
Yeah,
is
to
for the
clarify,
culture, yo.
We all know the actual reason that these rhinos are here, and that's the
They
payoff in the
thought it would-
battle.
yeah.
The whole reason they're here.
Yeah.
But it's
Yes.
stupid. That's the point. They're
Okay.
stupid. They
I
shouldn't
just-
be here.
Just because you have, there's no reason that technology and Rhino cum drinking can't exist together in the
Well,
same system.
You know, this just makes me think of, because a lot of people, I'm surprised they didn't do zebras, but again, zebras are not like horses. They'll
can't-
kick you
yeah,
in the
I think
face.
it
Yeah,
was-
you can't really
ride them.
domesticate.
As
Yeah,
Rag
you can't
said,
really domesticate
goats would
zebras.
be the assumed answer, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
goats, cows. And if
I
they're
just-
just because they're isolationists, they're like, oh shit, cows are fucking useful as shit. They're docile. They give you milk for a long time. You can domesticate them. They won't impale you to death. You can eat them.
Apparently, rhino milk is mainly water, 0.2% fat.
Well,
Let's
that's a
go in
lot
the
of work
chat.
for not much payoff. I'm just saying, that's not a lot of payoff.
I just cannot fathom that of all the defenses he could possibly make for why he's farming rhinos, is that he had to come up with, well, maybe you can milk them or eat them, which literally nobody in the world does.
It's like, maybe you can
That
milk
is-
the rhino.
I mean, congratulations. You are stretching it to such an insane extent that you had to make up something that no one on Earth actually does.
And they never state this in the film as
Congratulations.
well, and they just have the rhino.
There's no reason not to farm rhinos. They're not a traditional.
No reason. Look, guys, just because literally nobody does it doesn't mean there's not a reason.
Yeah, everybody chose not to do
There's
it
no
for
reason
no
not to
reason.
farm Bengal tigers. There's no
No
reason.
Well, guys, I mean, there's no reason to farm rhinos, but there's also no reason
To
not to farm rhinos.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
no
as someone-
reason not to farm grizzly bears.
Someone in chat,
Vibranium.
someone in
the
chat did
grass.
say a reason to farm rhinos would be to try and save their population, which again is like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like,
Well, no, that
that
no.
really
If
be
you
considered
use
farming
them in
them, though?
battle, if you would have,
Yeah.
if you would have saved the rhinos, you ride them in battle.
the pacifist rhinos. God damn it, Rags. So just highlight, he's literally advocating for harvesting ivory from these animals. Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason we shouldn't fucking kill all the elephants.
It's not film breaking. I just point out that it's silly. That's all.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's just
Then he spends
yeah,
some
it's
time
like
on
this
it.
is a strange hill to die on. Because the reason it's in the film is because they said, wouldn't it be exotic and Africa-y if they rode rhinos into battle? And you're like, yeah, that would be fucking cool as shit. And like, I don't have a problem with them riding rhinos into battle. I'm fine with that. Sure, fine, they ride rhinos into battle. Sure, that's fine.
and
But don't try to be like, this makes sense.
apparently,
Someone pointed out that there's a cow in the background.
There is a cow in the back.
oh my god.
How come the rhinos don't fuck up the cows?
And someone pointed out, and I don't know how true this is, but it'll be an interesting thing to think about if we actually got facts on this. But if rhinos are endangered throughout Earth, it's pretty interesting that there's this giant rhino reserve in this place no relief workers are allowed to go to. It'd be like, can we help you out, or can we have some of the rhinos so that we can, you know, develop them too? And they're just like, no, don't come here. And you're like,
Oh, there are rhinos.
We need them for their milk.
We need them for their ivory. So you've been killing them for their ivory for 2,000 years.
then some guy's like, you know, they don't have ivory, right? Just like,
Like-
like if someone's eating their own face, I'd be like, that's crazy. We proved the
this is the
point
guy-
when his counters were that you milk rhinos.
Oh my god.
Well,
Do you think
apparently
he's gonna make a part 2.
There's gonna be a part 2, and we'll happily respond. This has
Oh
been a
my-
lot of fun, to be honest.
This has been fucking terrible. Has he made one point?
Seems like he probably wouldn't have died if he still had the power of the Panther, so that means they would have stripped it from him, right?
I mean, not necessarily. We don't really know how much the Black Panther can take without his suit. T'Chaka does.
Oh, come on. He could have
Well,
survived
what do you
that.
mean? Yeah, we did, because T'Challa the explosion. He lived.
Yeah, he was right next to it. He might
He
actually
was
have been
right next to
closer.
him and he lived.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Sorry, there's no...
And also, he would have had the reflexes to get out of the way, probably.
There's a lot of... This Black Panther juice is very, very good. Like, there's no... It's very
Basically.
good.
From
You
a
want
huge
it.
explosion at very close range. To me, that
He literally shows T'Challa.
Shows the footage.
You literally countered your own point by accidentally showing footage of my video. We don't know that he'd survive. Sure,
doesn't
man.
really scream he no longer has the Panther powers.
So that means they would have stripped it from him, right? Because I mean, it's not like you can bring the juice out of people to provide it to another person. So can you guys imagine when T'Chaka gave up the mantle that they just took his powers instead of letting him live his life with it? Like, he's just sitting there thinking to himself, you know, I've got increased healing, better agility, speed, and I'm really old, so can I just keep it? And they're like, no.
Time and time again.
See, I think that's a valid point.
I think so too. It's like if I was getting old, I'd be like, yeah.
Can I
I
just
remember
keep
he's
it?
the king.
Erectile dysfunction? I don't think so. I got Panther dick.
Panther is a sort of subsidiary of the drinking the Rhino milk provides that as well. Or...
Basically. Somebody that they're making the Rhino emoji and then a milk emoji.
And then they got the cow and the milk one.
They put Rhino milk is better than cow milk.
Oh my god, I'm saving that. I'm fucking saving that. So someone in chat said you were supposed to interpret the rhinos, not milk them.
Someone said Patrick Willems' favorite addition to the MCU is the Rhino.
Of course.
And that's a good thing.